Hello everybody, hello no aloha here. Thank you for joining me. We are back with part 10. We're back with the correct introductory image on the video actually. In part 9, because I'm an idiot, I put the thumbnail image for the actual YouTube video rather than this introductory bit. Yeah, we're all used to what this is by now. Core set campaign, Night of the Zealot. We're playing Arkham Horror the card game on Tabletop Simulator. Let's jump into some gameplay in a moment. I have a bit of a cough today, I'm sorry about that. Before I jump into reading the flavour text for the campaign and our agenda and act cards, during the bit of the part 9 video where we were talking about cards, I wanted to just clarify something, because I said something that I think could be taken the wrong way. We were talking about Wendy having to first evade an enemy before she could play this. You can only play this when an enemy is evaded, and I did imply that Wendy would have to evade it herself. In our situation, that is absolutely the most likely situation that would occur, because Roland is unlikely to be doing evasion. But there is no requirement on this card. I just want to make clear, there's no requirement on this card that the owner of the card, who controls it, has to make the evasion. Two investigators could be sharing a location. Investigator A evades their monster out, and Investigator B could then play this if they wanted, because they share the location. Doesn't have to be the owner that does the evasion attempt. With that out of the way, we'll just jump straight into the flavour text and get things kicked off, shall we? So, if everybody is sitting comfortably, Part 3, The Devourer Below. After a frantic nighttime search throughout Arkham, you have tracked down and questioned several members of the cult. Your findings are disturbing. They claim to worship a being known as Umordoth, a monstrous entity from another realm. You are able to confirm much of Lita's story. The cult is agitated over the destruction of a ghoul lair. However, a surprising detail also turns up. The one who invaded the lair and set this night's events in motion was none other than Lita Chantler herself. You are not sure why this important detail was omitted from Lita's story. Did she tell you only as much as was necessary to draw you into her conflict? But in another light, she seems to be fighting to protect the city of Arkham from a terrible menace. The final piece of the puzzle was found written in a journal possessed by one of the cultists. It describes a dark ritual to be performed deep within the woods south of Arkham this very night. According to the journal, the ritual's completion will open a gate and bring forth the cult's dark master into this world. If the cult is not stopped, Lita warns, there is a possibility that Umordoth's vengeance will consume all in its path. Frightened, but determined to stop the ritual, you head into the woods. Wendy and Roland, frightened but determined to stop the ritual, head into the woods. We're on the main path. Hangman's Brook separates Uptown from the woods south of Arkham. Passing over the small bridge, you follow the main path deeper into the forest. We'll flip that once we've read the agenda and act. Agenda 1, the Arkham Woods. From interrogating members of the conspiracy within Arkham, you have learned that they are performing a rite of vengeance in response to the destruction of one of their master's lairs. You have entered the woods outside Arkham to try to stop them. The woods seem unnaturally cold and filled with a deathly silence. And we have a target of 4. Start on 0, because we got all of our cultists. So we have hopefully 4 turns, assuming we don't get any of the Ancient Evil cards pop up from this ugly little deck. Act 1, investigating the trail. The evidence you've gathered has led you to the woods south of Arkham, which we've established like 5 times now, where you believe a ritual to summon a being called Umordoth is about to take place. Steeling your resolve, you set forth deeper into the woods, hoping to find the site of this ritual. We have an objective here of 6 clues. It's just, there's no objective text, so we can advance this act just during the free trigger windows in an investigation phase. 6 clues to advance. There is a chance, I think, do all of these cards have 2 clues on them? One of the cards has like a healing effect of the 6, including the 2 over there. And I've never looked into having that card in my games. For some reason, I think that might not have clues on it. We can assume, perhaps, though, that there's going to be 8 clues here, 2 on each. We only need 6. And I'm unsure whether I will try to get all 8 from here. We'll see. We'll see. I think there is something to be said for trying to get all 8 before everybody bustles into the area that will open up over here. But perhaps not. It's probably, like many things in this game, just a circumstantial thing, just to see what the board state is at that time. Right then, plan of action. The default plan is for Wendy to face check these cards. She will scout and Roland will jump into any locations that are friendly to him. We certainly don't want Roland going into the location where it deals damage based on a willpower test. And the agility location would also be terrible for Roland. Having said that, he does have flashlight in his hand. Say, for example, he went into the location with the agility test. He is able to reduce that shroud value down using his flashlight, so he could actually manage it. And Wendy does have some high-cost assets that she would like to get out of play. I might actually go against my standard opening with these 2 investigators here and have Wendy hang out here, establish some usefulness, and have Roland do the actual scouting. I think the alternative for Roland is he also sits here and just furiously pounds through his deck, trying to find a weapon. No, we'll have Roland try to make use of his flashlight. With the, let's be optimistic and assume we're going to draw into, say, shotgun or one of his pistols. I think it makes sense for Roland to try to just get his flashlight out, use it, so that he can discard it with a clear mind, rather than feel like he's wasting it. Yeah, I think that's probably the right one. Oh, nobody's got their pocket money. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just dole you out 5 Arkham books. And Roland also. Okay, now we're ready to start. Yeah, Wendy's going to go first. So, can we get everything out here? Leo for 5. We would then want to get maybe pickpocketing out also, under the assumption that we'll probably draw into an horrible, horrible monster in the encounter phase, the Mythos phase in the following turn. Or does Wendy just get Leo out and then move a bunch? I think we try to get Leo and pickpocketing out and let Roland blaze the trails. Yeah, we'll do that. 5 resources and an action, and we will get Leo out. We get our 4th action. Then, I'd hate doing this, but I do want to get pickpocketing out. I want to just squeeze as much worth as possible out of both Leo and pickpocketing. So sure, we will click twice, get 2 resources, spend those resources, and the 4th action, and then we'll get pickpocketing out. We'll just leave Wendy there. Hasn't moved an inch, but she's that much more prepped. Roland, my friend, then. I don't think there's any reason we... No, I don't think there's any reason we get magnifying glass out. Although he is going to move in and he's bound to do some investigation. No, I mean, there's no reason to. We'll wait until we need to do some investigating and we can get this out then. So, sure. Do I draw? Do I draw cards? No, let's get moving. We need to get a move on. Roland will move as first action. He'll move into the worst possible location. So Roland is, well, in case you haven't seen the card before, flavor text. This is the unhallowed ground of card of the Arkham Woods set. This clearing has been the site of dark rites since colonists first came to the area over 2 centuries ago. Forced text. After you enter this location, we're going to test willpower, difficulty 4, and if, let's be optimistic, if we fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror. This is kind of poopy because we don't want Wendy coming in here, so if Roland does find himself in a pickle, Wendy's going to be loath to come and help out because she would also take that damage. We would like Roland to deal with this location as fast as possible, and then we just cordon it off and treat it as no fun anymore. It's high shroud though, and we have a flashlight, so let's look on the bright side. And we have deduction. Okay, that could actually, as much as it sucks to take that damage, which we'll test now, we might be in a position to grab both those clues. Am I committing anything? I think it's just intellect icons. Intellect, icon, intellect. Physical training is a possibility for willpower icon. However, I feel like that is going to be a useful card to get out. Certainly was useful in our last attempt. No, we're just going to probably just accept that we take this damage. Willpower 3 of Roland's versus difficulty 4. It's a -1. So we fail. We take... Great start, Roland. Excellent. Optimal start. We have 1 on our... We've taken 1 damage and we're already up to 2 horror. You need to just slow down a bit there, old man. However, let's look forward with our chin up, and I guess at this point, as a fast action, we'll equip Magnifying Glass. As a second action, we will spend 2 resources and equip our flashlight. And sure, let's just go for it, with deduction in mind. We won't commit this because... No, I don't think we need to. I think we're in a good spot. Intellect 3, Intellect 4, Intellect 5 versus, delete one of those, Shroud value 2. So 5 versus Shroud value 2, -3 or better. Oh no. Well, we'll look at that. So Tentacle Token did us a wrong un, and we have not had a successful test. We don't get any of these clues. We've spent our deduction, which is very sad, and we've spent one of our charges on the battery. Oh well. Ill fortune. There's no enemies on the board. We can move into upkeep. Roland, you need a handgun or at least a big knife. There's a handgun. Okay, fantastic. That's going straight out. Well, we'll see what you draw into actually in the encounter phase. And we get a resource. Note, worth noting, Roland has 2 hand slots used up right now. So maybe it's not going straight out. Wendy, what are you going to draw into? Cunning Distraction. Not that useful in this scenario, especially since we have 6 cultists as our resolution. Let's gain a resource. It's a nice 2 willpower icons though that we may use. And yeah, we'll see. Very expensive if you're not throwing this at a massive group of enemies. That's the first turn. So, very unfortunate with the Tentacle Token coming out there. That could have been a very nice little gimme of 2 clues, but oh well. Let's bump the Doom Clock up by 1. We have a target of 4. Give this one last shuffle for luck, and then see what Roland is going to play with. It is Rotting Remains. Oh dear. Testing willpower, difficulty 3, and we're going to take horror if we fail. Roland could die right now. I mean, I think we have to throw this. We have to. No, that's not an option. That's not an option. We have to throw this. Willpower 4 versus difficulty 3. I really didn't want to get rid of physical training, but this literally could have killed Roland. -1. So willpower 4, -1. We don't take any horror damage. Where we would have taken 1 horror damage had we not spent our physical training. Very sad to see that go, because I think it's a very useful card in this scenario. For Roland. Or just in general, I suppose. Place 2 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy if there are no cultist enemies in play. Ooh, this could be nice. Not really, actually, thinking about it. Let's return you. So, we don't have any cultist enemies in place, so we're going to find an Acolyte and spawn the Acolyte. Acolyte, there you are. The reason this isn't so great, let me give this a shuffle. The reason this isn't so great is I don't know if Roland will be in a position to actually head over and deal with this, which would be great with this to get 2 clues. Do we place it there? Do we place it here? Do we place it here? I think Wendy was going to be going around in a corner, so let's place this at the top, I suppose. Wendy, whilst Roland flounders in the unhallowed grounds, Wendy will probably move around this way, or rather in, out, and then Roland can swing around and hopefully manage to deal with this Doom token before it helps this trigger. So we're going to have... Does that work out as 1 turn or 2 turns? I think we have 2 sets of investigation phases to deal with this. Okay. So there's our current situation. Let's do another turn. Oh, we're in the turn, obviously. Let's carry on with the current turn that we're in, and Roland, my friend, I want you to grab these clues. You have your flashlight here, you have magnifying glass equipped, you're not in a bad spot to get this, just no more tentacle tokens, please. So with that in mind, why don't we... Yeah, let's just go at it. Roland will click, spend, and investigate Shroud 2 with Intellect 4. -2 or better. That is not a success. You are not drawing very nice tokens. We'll try this again. Same test. -2 or better. There we go. You're a friendlier token, so we get 1 of these clues. And what does Roland do now? I think this is a waste. I mean, does he just equip this now? I suppose he does just equip this now. That's got to be the correct play, right? Yeah. He will equip his pistol, spend 3 resources, pop this in his discard. No, we wouldn't be able to remove magnifying glass because you can only do that when there are no clues at the location. We have 1 clue left. Okay. Wendy, my friend, are you going to move now? I think this is clue fodder for Roland, especially considering he has evidence in hand. So let's have Wendy. Is there anything you want to do here? Nope. Let's see if we can get some use out of look what I found. That would be great. Wendy's first action, she will move around and go into... Not a great one at all. The Twisting Paths. Shroud value 3. It's going to have 2 clues. As a forced effect, whenever we try to move out of this location. That move there is not just the move action that you take, where we would be clicking these tokens. It can be any kind of move. Any move offered by an ability from a card, for example. You cannot leave this location without first taking this test and passing. This path seems to twist and turn upon itself, almost as if it were alive. So hopefully Wendy's in a position to get out of here. However, that's not a bad shroud value for getting this, if I'm doing my numbers, if I'm numbering up correctly. Let's look at the... We wouldn't want to commit anything, would we? Intellect of 3, shroud value of 3. So if we got 0 or better, we would get 1 clue. However, if we fail with a -2 or a -1, that triggers our ability to draw this. However, we don't have the resources. So as a second action, Wendy is going to gain another resource, and then we're going to investigate here. And hope that we get -2 or -1 specifically. -2 or -1. That is not a -2, nor is it a -1. How many cards do I have in my hand? Is it worth a repull? No, I don't think it is. I think we just take that as a fail. Keep cards in hand, and we'll try here. Maybe we'll repull on this. -1 or -2 would be great. 0 or better would at least get us a clue. -1. Hurrah! So that triggers our ability, triggers the specific window for failure that we can play. Look what I found. Spend 2 resources. Place this event in the event half of our discard pile. And grab 2 clues. Yoink. Okie dokie. No enemies on the board are going to do anything in the enemy phase. We'll go into upkeep and Roland will draw. Oh, I never gave myself some ammo. This is 4, right? Yes. Roland will draw. Working a hunch. Ooh. Maybe we just be aggressive, and given the situation, we'll see what Roland draws into. Maybe he draws an enemy that he can fight and get that. Otherwise, I think Roland does just throw this at it. Perhaps. Perhaps. Or the alternative is, while he's here at a location with a clue, he does just try to build his hand back up so that when the ammo runs out here, maybe he has extra ammunition, maybe he has machete in hand, shotgun, for example. Yeah, I don't know. But we drew working a hunch, and we gain another resource. And Wendy will draw survival instinct. It's another nice little thing that allows you a free movement. What are the specifics for the movement here? Move to a connecting location. So it doesn't specify whether it's revealed, and it doesn't specify whether there are enemies on it. Okay. And Wendy gets a resource also. I think we've got time for one more turn. So let's bump up Doom. What we don't want to see here are Ancient Evil, because that would cause us to advance the agenda, and that's no fun. Oh, I should shut my mouth sometimes. I really should. Ancient Evils. So we're going to advance. Well, let's do it properly. Let's tick it up, give it the satisfaction of hitting 4. We then advance the agenda, which means that we have to bring it back down to 0. Let's flip this over. Throughout the woods a shrieking cry echoes. From somewhere deeper in the forest, a score of hideous voices answer the call. Inhuman as the baying of hounds, and yet articulate, repeating a singular name. Umordoth, Umordoth, Umordoth. We are now going to remember to put Doom on a monster is what we're going to do, which I forgot to do when I did this in the previous run through. So we have to find a monster. We're going to shuffle all of these back into here, and then we're going to flip them over one by one until we hit a monster-traded enemy, place it at the main path, and place 1 Doom on it. Don't forget that last bit. Don't be no aloha and forget. You must place the Doom. So let's grab these, pop them on, shuffle, 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 and hope that we don't draw into one of the horrible monsters from one of the agent sets. Dissonant Voices. We've drawn into one of the horrible monsters. Yes, this is one of the horrible monsters. This is the Cthulhu set, which means that we have the relay card, which is very nasty. I think the other card, the interesting thing, as soon as I see this, I'm thinking, what's the other card, so we know what to expect. There are cards in here that can put -1 willpower on us, and then there's another effect that I can't remember, and you have to test willpower to get rid of it. Really wish we had physical training. Not so bad for Wendy because she has willpower 4. Anyway, we have drawn this, and this spawns on the main path. We'll pop Doom on it and tick this up to represent that token, and then let's take a look at the card. It does 1 physical damage, 1 mental horror as an attack. It is a 3/3/3, but let's just put an asterisk next to that because that's going to change in a moment. It preys on lowest combat, so it's going to prey Wendy. It is a hunter, so it's going to follow us around. And forced. After young deep one engages you, take 1 horror. So for Wendy, for example, that can be a problem in that she likes to evade out, and then it re-engages. She would take 1 horror every time she does that. We would like to just kill this in one big bang. So I think Roland, with his pistol that he has, that is now an option. It's not really... I was tempted for Wendy to... No, that would just be a bad idea. I was tempted to have Wendy bring the monster to Roland, but that's just bad. Bad. Yeah, when we open up the turn, when we've drawn into Wendy's encounter card, we'll see what the situation is. I think Roland... How are you going to get this? Maybe we do just spend that card, grab it, and then we can move. Can we kill it in 1 turn? No. And Wendy... Maybe Wendy kills it. Wendy has backstab, I forgot that. She doesn't have resources, but she does have click, click, move, kill. Possible. Maybe that's how we handle this. Okay, that was the resolution of Agenda 1B. We are now on a new agenda. Agenda 2, the ritual begins. Umordoth, Umordoth, Umordoth. The chanting builds in intensity, echoing into the cold air of the night. The sparse clouds in the sky coalesce above the Arkham Woods, blotting out the faint light of the stars. And as luck would have it, just to, spice things up a bit, each enemy now has +1 fight and +1 evade. So, our young deep one down here, cute little thing, is a 4/3/4 for the duration of Agenda 2. It has a target of 5. So, yeah, that's going to be fun to deal with. 4/3/4. 3 health, though. So it can be sneak attacked in 1. With a little bit of luck. A little bit of Wendy's natural luck, perhaps. Wendy, that was all as part of Roland's first encounter card. So let's draw an encounter card for Wendy. And hope it's not an enemy. We don't want Wendy picking up a straggler right now if we're going to try and deal with this. Because otherwise... we could actually... Wendy could just hang out here, take the attack as it hunts into her, and then she could deal with it next turn. But that means what do we end up doing in Wendy's 3 investigation, Wendy's 3 actions there? I don't know. Let's see what she gets. Grasping Hands. Agility test, and we're going to take damage. I think we just take this on the chin, so to speak. If this skill test is successful during an evasion attempt. So I was wondering there, could I play Survival Instinct and then as a success move and save myself an action? But no, we cannot. Plus, we're in this. I must remember that we're in Arkham Woods and we have to test intellect whenever we move out. But we can't use this. Or we could commit it for the agility icon, but we don't get the special ability. I think we're just going to test this naturally. Agility 4 versus difficulty 3. -1 is 3 versus difficulty 3, and we are successful. Right. That is the Mythos phase. We're on 1 doom already. Can Wendy reliably leave this location? So what was that attempt from Wendy? We move, take the horror from engagement, and then we just need... Why did I get confused about... There was something I got confused about where it was going to take Wendy. Oh, of course, because we need the resources to actually play backstab. Yes, that was it. But we can't click for resources without taking attacks of opportunity, and we cannot guarantee that we're going to be able to move from this location. We do want to have enough resources in hand without taking attacks of opportunity, so I think we go for it. think we do go for it. We're going to click, and get 2 resources. We are now going to attempt a move. Let's just put a... That's not a bad, not a good sign. So we're going to attempt to move into here. We have to test intellect 3. Do I commit anything to this? When we actually do our combat versus this, it is going to be agility 4. Yeah, I would like to bump this up to at least 6 because of the difficulty. Which would mean committing this, perhaps, and opportunist. So I don't think we throw anything at our movement test. This is going to use up a lot of Wendy's resources. We're just going to make a base test against this. 3 versus 3, so 0s or better. Sadly, skull tokens are -1 right now. Oh, no good. -5. Do I? Gosh, no. No, we just take that one as a sorry fail. So we used our 3rd action to move, but we were unable to move. We got lost in the woods. At this point, then, I think I'll draw a card because I think I'm going to end up using a bunch of these cards when we fight this young deep one. This is my... Oh, that's nice, actually. That's very nice, considering the combat that we're about to do. Yeah, very, very good. So, that was Wendy's 4 actions. Roland, my friend, you're going to try to get this clue. No, you're just going to get the clue. You're not going to try. You're going to just decide to take the clue. First action. We're going to spend these 2, and we're going to play working a hunch, and we're going to discover this clue. Was that the wisest thing to do? If I'm going to end up staying here this turn, I don't know if that is the wisest thing that we could have done. The chances of drawing a monster that spawns on us is quite slim. I think this is the right thing to do. We're going to click to draw a card. Oh dear. Every time. Well, I mean, I don't care. We have our weakness that, you know, just always shows up, always crashes the party, but I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just a waste of an action, essentially. And we'll draw another card. Perception. That might come in useful depending on whatever these are over here. Or during the end of the scenario, if we can make it that far. Okay, yeah. I don't feel too great about Roland's turn there. The enemy here, in the enemy phase, is going to hunt. Preys on lowest combat, so it hunts after Wendy. It's going to move over to this location, enter our threat area. During the hunting stage of the enemy phase, it is then going to attack. So let's not put that on there. I think with Leo, if I were to draw into Cat Burglar, our other ally, I would probably swap Leo out for Cat Burglar. Maybe just try to get as much use out of Leo as possible, but I wouldn't be too sorry to swap him out for Cat Burglar. So the attack that the Young Deep one did on Wendy, I've placed on Leo, and we're now into Upkeep. Our little acolyte friend up there isn't going to do anything. Yeah, Upkeep phase. Roland draws. Guard Dog. Ooh. No resources, Roland, but that might be very nice to have as an option to deal with the acolyte, just as a guaranteed option. Oh, I don't know if you have enough actions to do it though. We'll take a look at that. That's I'm curious how that would work out. Wendy. Sorry, I moved on to Wendy, but my brain was very much still over here thinking about Guard Dog and whether we can move into here and also defeat this. That might be really good actually. I've got a very nice little combo in mind for Guard Dog and that acolyte. Wendy draws. Knife. Not great, but all cards are great for Wendy. Every single one. Sure, there's an end of a turn. Should we call it there and we'll jump back into the next turn have some fun with a young deep one. Wendy's got things she needs to do. Roland has a little plan brewing in his mind that he's not sure about yet. Yes, thank you for watching. Join me again in the next video. I'll see you over there. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.